Hello and welcome to another video for Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that's now quite old. It's becoming increasingly more collectible, especially in this mint condition. And very, very difficult to find nowadays. We are looking at the 2009 release by Pava Ltd from their series of TV tie-in jumbo mugs and keyrings. And this particular one we're looking at today is of none other than the Star Trek, the original television series. And it features Captains Kirk and Mr. Spock. Now, we all know Star Trek was an American science fiction television series. It was created by the legendary Gene Roddenberry. And it follows the adventures of the USS Enterprise starship and its crew. Originally called just Star Trek, is now known as Star Trek, the original series, distinguishing the show from other shows in the same franchise. Now, the show is set in the Milky Way galaxy circa 2266 to 2269, which is about 300 years into the future of when the actual series was filmed. Now, the ship and the crew are led by the legendary Captain James T. Kirk, as portrayed by William Shatner, together with his first officer and science officer, Mr. Spock, as portrayed by the late great Leonard Nimoy, and also his senior medical officer, Mr. Leonard Bones McCoy, as portrayed by the late great DeForest Kelley. Incidentally, it was quite iconic because the opening of each episode started with that famous speech by William Shatner, which gave you the outskirts of the television series, which said, "Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before." Now, the series was fairly popular. It did last originally for 3 seasons. A total of 79 episodes were produced, which included 2 pilot episodes. So the first pilot episode, which was entitled The Cage, well, that was rejected by the studios because it didn't include a lot of the features that Gene Roddenberry had promised. He promised a space western and pretty much got a science fiction space exploration program. So the TV series was rejected. However, a couple of the studio audience, they liked the idea that it felt like they were flying through space. So almost unprecedented, a second pilot was ordered, which was the episode When No Man Has Gone Before, and that obviously passed all expectations, and the rest was history. So 26 episodes per season, 3 seasons, a total of 79 altogether, including that first pilot, and each episode ran for around about 50 minutes, so they had the hour's time slot with 9 minutes of adverts in that slot. So, incidentally, the budget for season 1 was $190,000, which was quite a sizable budget at the time. However, the budget did get trimmed for each additional season. So, season 2, it went down to $185,000, and season 3 was $175,000. Now, bearing in mind, back in the 1960s, your average wage was probably something like £1 or £2 a week. So, it wasn't that budget was a very, very big budget. Surprisingly, that the budget got shaved each season. Maybe that's because of budget restraints, or the production company tightening the purse strings, or maybe it's because the sets were produced in the first season, so it didn't need to be produced again. So you did actually have bigger budgets for the actual episodes and the special effects, I'm guessing. Originally aired from September the 8th, 1966 to June the 3rd, 1969, before the series was axed. And it was axed because the ratings wasn't as high as it could have been. So, I mean, they thought that was the end of it, but they did come back to do the animated series, which ran from 72 to 73. And Star Trek was also being sold through syndication to different network channels, and the popularity of the television series just grew and grew and grew, till eventually Paramount decided to do a new Star Trek television series, which is called Phase 2. However, with the success of the Star Wars movie in 1977, they decided not to go ahead with a second series, but to convert it to a big budget blockbuster movie, which they did do, which came out in 1979, and that was Star Trek the Motion Picture. And of course, the rest is history. We had 6 other films following on for that before the Next Generation joined the original crew in Star Trek Generations. Anyway, let's not digress any further. This particular item we're looking at today is of that jumbo mug, and this is the box that it comes in. And it says Star Trek at the top there. You can see an image of the original USS Enterprise. And it says Jumbo Mug and Keyring. And you can see an image of none other than Captain James T. Kirk on the front of the box just here. And you can see Captain Kirk on the mug there. But we'll have a look at that in a moment. I'm just going to turn the box to the side. And there again, we've got Star Trek and Jumbo Mug and Keyring with William Shatner as he was when he played Captain Kirk. Now on the back of the box, it says Star Trek again, the logo at the top. Star Trek, the original series, 1966 to 1969. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. There are few people in the world who aren't familiar with those sentences. When Star Trek first burst upon the scene in the autumn of 1966, the concept behind those words was as new and exotic as the prospect of a man walking on the moon. Despite the public's fascination with the visual appeal of Star Trek, the lasting popularity of the original Star Trek series is largely due to the family of characters who made up the primary crew of the USS Enterprise NCC-1701, including Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Scotty, Uhura, Sulu and Chekhov, and the hopeful visions of the future they present. It says Jumbo Mug and Keyring. Keyring recommended for ages 8 to adult. Warning, not suitable for children under 36 months due to small parts which may present a choking hazard. Made in China. You got the barcode at the bottom there, CE markings. It says please retain this information for future reference. StarTrek.com, and you got the TM and copyright and licensing information. 2009 CBS Studios, all right reserved. Star Trek and relative marks are trademarks of CBS Studios Inc. And you got Pava Ltd, who was the manufacturer of the mug. Okay, top of the box. Again, we've got Star Trek there and the image of the USS Enterprise. And if we drop the box to the bottom, there's absolutely nothing on the bottom. Okay, so that is the box. I've got a feeling that we'd have a better view of this if I can get it out of the box. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take it out of the box. It's only a little bit tape that's taped at the top there. So let me open it up. Let's take it out of the box and let's have a good look at it where we can see it properly. Okay, so I've removed the mug and the keyring from the box. And first of all, let's have a look at the mug, because it is a jumbo mug. It is a big size mug. And there we can see at the front there, it says it's life, but not as we know it, which was a famous saying by Spock. And there is Spock and Captain Kirk. And there we've got the image of the USS Enterprise, and it's got the Star Trek logo at the bottom there. And the same on this side, it's got its life, but not as we know it. And again, there's that same image of Captain Kirk as portrayed by William Shatner, and Mr. Spock as portrayed by Leonard Nimoy. Bottom, it's got 2009 CBS Studios, all rights reserved. Star Trek and related marks are trademarks of CBS Studios. And that's it, really. It is a huge mug. It's more like a pint. This is an actual fact. It's like one of those pint jugs that you get in the pub, but that's pretty much the size. So you can get a lot of coffee and tea in there. Let's just give you some sizes. So we're looking at 12 centimeters in height, which is about 5 inches, just under 5 inches. I mean, that handle itself, it looks like Spock's ear in actual fact. And that handle itself is over 11 centimeters tall. The diameter of the lid is 8.5 lid. The top is 8.5 centimeters, which again is about 3¼ inches. The opening where you put your drink in. So a very, very big size mug. And if we measure across from the end to the end of the handle, we're looking at 11.5 centimeters again. So a very, very big jumbo mug, and a really nice design. And if you like your tea and coffee, that's for you. It's a huge, huge mug, really nice. And then also don't forget you get this keyring with it, which is, it's still attached to the thing, but I'm gonna, perhaps I can take it off because it's only a few little ties that are holding it on, and we can have a better look at it. If I can get it off of the card. There we go. So there we have that keyring. Now it is a rubber keyring. It's very flexible, and it is of the Command Delta logo as seen in Star Trek, and the badge that is worn on the Command team's shirts. On the back it's got TM, copyright 2009 CBS Studios, all rights reserved, Star Trek and related marks are trademarks of the CBS Studios. So the Delta badge measures, we're looking at about 5 centimeters in height, and across at the widest point about 3.5 centimeters. You do have the little ring there, and if we measure the chain, well, we're looking from the chain to the top of the ring, we're looking again at about 6.5 centimeters. So it's a fair old keyring, and it's a nice little keyring to have with your mug. A really, really nice little collection that is. Very sentimental for the original Star Trek television series fan. Okay, so now we're going to say, how well did these do back in 2009 on their release? Well, yeah, I mean, they've done fairly well. I mean, 2009 wasn't a particularly big year for Star Trek. I mean, we had the movies that were still being filmed, but that was obviously of the new cast, and the first one didn't come out until mid 2009, and then of course we had the Into Darkness, and we had Star Trek Beyond, which was 2013, 2016 respectively. But it wasn't a particular, apart from the motion picture in production, it wasn't a particular big year for Star Trek. It wasn't an anniversary year or anything like that. But merchandise seemed to really, really slow down for Star Trek. So to have something like this come out, it was a great thing. It was one of those items that you would find in the card shops. You know, if you went to a card gift shop, you would find this mug in there. And I suppose it would be speciality shops that had them. So, but I presume they've done very well. I don't know the numbers that was released. But I don't remember seeing them around for an awful long time before they were obviously cleared off the shelves. Okay, so let's move forward 16 years to 2025, which is where we are today. Do these mugs appear very often on any platforms nowadays? And the answer to that is no, not very often. Occasionally, and I mean occasionally, you might find one pop up on one of the platforms, but not very often. Those seem to be few and far between. I'm guessing that because anyone that would have bought them would have used them, and I suppose if you put them in dishwasher, the image is going to begin to fade over a period of time, and of course they do end up getting broken as they get older. So I'm guessing that's the reason why we don't see that many of these mugs nowadays. So they do occasionally appear on the platforms, but overly not that often. And when they do come on the platforms, they usually sell quite quickly, because most of them that you see on the platforms are mint, like as this one is, still sealed in the box, just as this one is also. So to summarise, no, they don't come up for sale very often. When they do, if you are intent to buy on a platform, snap it up quickly, because it's not going to be there for very long. But do remember, on a platform, I always tell you, somebody's idea of very good condition could be somebody else's idea of acceptable condition. Be careful, read the listing description, and have a good look at the images, because somebody's idea there's a big scope of differences there between people's opinions, so do bear that in mind. And also, some of the platforms also use stock images and stock descriptions, so you could be looking at images in the description of a brand new item. However, if it doesn't say new on the listing and only says used, you're not going to get a new item. You will get the cheapest used item. So click that used link and read what you're about to order. Otherwise, you will be disappointed when it arrives. And it wouldn't be the fault of the seller, and it obviously not the fault of the buyer. It's just the way the platforms work, which is a ridiculous system for some of them, but there we are, that's it. Now, alternatively, you can come straight to us at Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles, where what you see in front of you is exactly the item you will receive should you wish to order. And this particular mug and keyring set, we have managed to find about 3 of these, which is all part of a shop buyout, which we bought out a few years ago. And we're working our way through that stock and making these mugs available to our customers on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many, many other vintage Star Trek items. And many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody. And I'm absolutely positive that this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you're looking for, something old you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful Star Trek jumbo mug and keyring set with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.